Elon Musk versus Bernie Sanders. I know. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Now, there's a lot that's happening with this story because it has to do with the H1B program. All right. And because of this, there's been a huge, massive fallout between Bernie Sanders, or not between Bernie Sanders, sorry about that, between Elon Musk, Trump, and a lot of influential MAGA supporters. Now, as we have covered on yesterday's show, where Nick Fuentes was saying, oh, we let the dragon into the White House. I mean, come on, people, especially those who have the larger social media following on the right. You know, Donald Trump taking money from the big tech bros, from the big tech organizations. No one should be surprised that, Trump was going to be siding with Elon, especially with the H1B visa program. But we got to address this here because Bernie Sanders got some unsuspected support here. Now, people are going to say, well, is Bernie Sanders back? Is he back in the game? No, it's because now it's okay to really start being radical and being a firebrand again. I mean, yes, Bernie Sanders wagging his finger at the Democrats, but Bernie, you should have been doing that the past 4 years. But I just find it interesting now how people are kind of waking up, and don't fall for this game, but we should shine a light on it because all it is just a shift on the board. But let's talk about this shift. Let's talk about what's going on here because it's more of the same. The game never changes. Elon Musk is wrong. The main function of the H1B visa program is not to hire the best and the brightest, but rather replace good paying American jobs with low wage indentured servants from abroad. The cheaper the labor they hire, the more money the billionaires make. I just want to say this too. While it's not related, but somewhat related, you may notice, especially, throughout the last year, big tech was laying off a lot of people, most notably Google, YouTube, X, Instagram, Facebook, Meta, to be more precise. There were a lot of layoffs happening in big tech. So a lot of tech support being kicked out. A lot of these, offices were being shuttered, closed, down, mothballed, all that kind of good stuff. But I want to pull up something here just so you guys can see it, okay? We need major reforms in the H1B program. This is from Senator Bernie Sanders. There's been a lot of discussion lately about the H1B guest worker program. Elon Musk and a number of other billionaire tech company owners have argued that this federal program is vital to our economy because of the scarcity of highly skilled American engineers and other tech workers. To which I must counter, hey, Democrats, Republicans, why not invest in our education? Why not invest into our schools at the early age and in colleges, make college affordable? I disagree. The main function of the H-1B visa program and other guest worker initiatives is not to hire the best and brightest, but rather to replace good-paying American jobs with low-wage indentured servants from abroad. The cheaper the labor they hire, the more money the billionaires make. In 2022 and 2023, the top 30 corporations using this program laid off at least 85,000 American workers while they hired over 34,000 new H-1B guest workers. There are estimates that as many as 33% of all new information technology jobs in America are being filled by guest workers. Further, according to the Census Bureau data, there are millions of Americans with advanced degrees in science, technology, and engineering and math who are not currently employed in those professions because, as I've said before, the college industrial complex, it's not designed to earn you job security. It's designed to keep you indentured as being riddled with debt. Higher education in America. To quote a famous admiral from Star Wars, it's a trap. A devastating trap, by the way. If there really is a shortage, and I just want to pull this up here, this is again from Bernie Sanders. If there really is a shortage of skilled American tech workers in America, why did Tesla lay off 7,500 American workers this year, including many software developers and engineers, at its factory in Austin, Texas, while being approved to employ thousands of H-1B guest workers? Moreover, if those jobs are only going to the best and brightest, why has Tesla employed H-1B guest workers as associate accountants for as little as $58,000, associate mechanical engineers for as little as $70,000 a year, and associate material planners for as little as $80,000 a year? Those don't sound like highly specialized jobs that are for the top 0.1%, as Musk claimed this week. If this program is really supposed to be about importing workers with highly advanced degrees in science and technology. Why are H1B guest workers being employed as dog trainers, massage therapists, cooks, and English teachers? Can we really not find English teachers in America? Well, gee, Bernie, I mean, come on. You should have been talking about this. But I'm rather surprised by so many people, especially those who were cheering Trump on, rooting for Bernie. Nick Fuentes, Bernie Sanders is right. Elon and Trump are wrong. That wasn't on my bingo card. Jack Pozo, Bernie runs in with a steel chair. I'm not expecting much from Bernie. No, Bernie Sanders is not back. Dominique Michael says Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy are now further to the left on immigration than Bernie Sanders. That's a dumb statement. A very, very, very dumb statement. But okay. Ashley St. Clair, Bernie Sanders is correct, but he has routinely voted to expand the H1B and other exploitative programs and is using this as an opportunity to dunk on Elon. That doesn't surprise me because, as always, Bernie Sanders is a hypocrite. And folks, hold on to your butts. Laura Loomer, Bernie Sanders is right. Can't believe I am saying this. Well, it's because the blue check mark and the subscriptions are gone off of X. Now, again, there's a lot of people who have lost their access to be monetized on X, being subscribed on X, having all the wonderful, beautiful benefits of having that coveted blue check mark. But is anyone here thinking that Bernie Sanders is back? Type 1 for yes, kid, he's back, and he's bringing the right with him. Type 2, no, this is a chance for Bernie Sanders to put on a show and dance, because this is how you get voters, to get all excited for Democrats in the 2026 midterm election cycle. Now, everything that Bernie Sanders is addressing in his letter, yeah, it's spot on. I agree. But then again, too, let's look at Bernie Sanders' voting record. Let's also look at the fact that all of this was still happening under the Biden-Harris administration. Let's also look at the fact, hey, Bernie Sanders, were you raising a stink about this when your good friend Joe Biden was president? Were you bringing up any kind of anger or raising the fire when this was happening under Joe Biden's ever watchful eye? The answer is no, because a Democrat was in the White House. And now that Trump, the orange boogeyman, woogie boogie boogie, is coming into power, oh, well, now's the time to get angry. Now's the time to push back. Now's the time to get upset. But then you also have people on the right now who are surprised at Trump's actions. Tune into Hardlands Media, because you shouldn't be surprised by the actions of Trump. I said it before, no matter who sits in the White House after November 5th, 2024, Wall Street, big banks, major corporations, the top 1%, are going to have the final say. They're going to have the final word. They're going to be the ones that will be approving everything the said president will do, be it Democrat or Republican. And of course, this is all an act. You see more consistent, more coherent storylines from WWF or ECW or WCW. What these politicians are doing is trying to stir things up, put their names in the papers, and of course, everybody's getting ready for the potential battles against Trump. But everybody that was cheering Trump on, I get it. Nobody was a fan of Joe Biden or even at Kamala Harris's campaigns. They were abysmal. Democrat donors, to be more precise, lost $2.5 billion. Billion, that's with a B, $2.5 billion. And the Kamala Harris campaign is still $20 million in debt. My goodness gracious. But thinking that Trump was going to bring in his tidal wave of change, people who have given him money are going to tell him what to do. This is how he operates. This is not surprising at all to me or anybody else. Trump's actions are always going to benefit, guess who? Donald Trump. That's how he has always done this. So if you are expecting Trump or Elon to say, oh, we're sorry, we got things wrong. No. Elon Musk wants the H1B visa program to work. He wants it for his benefits and his benefits alone. And Trump is going to open that door for him. And Vivek Ramaswamy is going to be part of it. Remember, there's that unofficial department, Doge, coming in. You think Doge is going to be looking out for everybody's best interest? No. And in regards to censorship, there's a lot of things I see coming down the road besides what happened, the devastating attacks in New Orleans and in Las Vegas. I mean, I see a whole other wave of censorship happening. And it's going to impact a lot of us in independent media, whether you're a small channel, medium channel, or a large influential channel, on the right and on the left. Heads up, this is coming our way. I want to continue on with a little bit more with what Bernie Sanders was saying. He goes on to say, let's be clear. To the extent that there may be labor shortages in our country in some highly specialized areas that need to be filled by employees from abroad through the H1B program, we must utilize this program as a very short-term and temporary approach. In the long term, if the United States is going to be able to compete in a global economy, we must make sure we have the best educated workforce in the world. Oh, so you mean student debt forgiveness? Maybe doing a debt jubilee? Why don't you hold your friend Joe Biden's feet to the fire, Bernie? And one way to help make that happen is to substantially increase the guest worker fees large corporations pay to fund scholarships, apprenticeships, and job training opportunities for American workers. This is something I have advocated from my first days as a U.S. Senator. Further, we must also significantly raise the minimum wage for guest workers, allow them to easily switch jobs, and make sure that corporations are required to aggressively recruit American workers first before they can hire workers from overseas. The widespread corporate abuse of the H-1B program must be ended. Bottom line, it should never be cheaper for a corporation to hire a guest worker from overseas than an American worker. So, Mr. Musk and Mr. Ramaswamy and others have argued that we need a highly skilled, well-educated workforce. They are right. But the answer, however, is not to bring in cheap labor from abroad. The answer is to hire qualified American workers first and make certain that we have an education system that produces that kind of workforce that our country needs for the jobs of the future. And that's not just engineering. We are in desperate need of more doctors, nurses, dentists, teachers, electricians, plumbers. Oh my goodness, Bernie, you keep on saying all this stuff over and over again. But what are you going to do about it? Was this just an attempt to dunk on Elon because now it's okay? Now that it's okay to be critical of a president? And to everyone that's saying, oh, yes, I agree with Bernie. I agree with Bernie. Okay, you could agree with Bernie, but let's look at his actions. This was still happening under Joe Biden, a Democrat. Was Bernie raising a stink about it? If he did, it was only a blip on the radar. And how many times have we in independent media shined a light on his overall hypocrisy when it comes down to the Democrats? And now that Trump is in office, oh, everybody get enraged because here's Elon and Trump. No one should be surprised by the actions of the top 1%. But don't fall for this trap and thinking that Bernie Sanders is back. That's not the case. He's got an all clear now to be a firebrand again. I ain't buying it. Don't fall for the trap. And for those on the right that thought that Elon or Trump were going to switch things around and everything was going to be hunky-dory, tune into Hard Lens Media. Be disappointed in both parties because neither party, no politician's going to save you. We got to save ourselves.